All right. Well, I'm gonna go take a look around Shrigley Bay, see if I can get there, see what the road's like, and if it's nice, I might take Francine for a little ride out to see it. But for now, I'm just scouting it out myself. We shall, well, enjoy the ride. Let's go. Lucinda is on the front. Lucinda the llama. My daughter Madeline bought him for me. And he's now the new bike mascot. Or she. Forgive me for misgendering Lucinda there for a moment. She gets to go wherever the bike goes. Got a full tank of gas. Llama on the front. And we're coming out the driveway. Yeehaw! Now, you'll probably notice I don't talk very much on my videos. I hate talking, for one. Major introvert. Secondly, when I'm riding, all I can hear is this really loud wind in my ears. I'm doing 14 miles an hour right now, and I can hear the whoosh of the wind going through my ears, so I don't even know if the camera can hear me. So maybe on this run, I'll do a couple of tests at different speeds. 17. I'm at 17. Can you still hear me? And if I'm speaking, I feel like I'm speaking normally for myself, but I'm talking to myself. I'm not talking loud enough that I would think that a passenger riding behind me could hear me very well. Now I'm up to 19, 20. We're at 20 miles an hour. Ed is our neighbor, and Ed takes care of these roads. It's most of our neighbors will pitch in and donate money for Ed, and he uses that money to get gravel and stones and whatnot, whatever is needed on the roads. If it's really a wet spot, then he'll put stones in there first, and then he'll add gravel. He keeps it clear in the winter time as well for those that need it, and because Ed lives here year round, we don't. Most people don't. There's only three families that live here year round, and one of them is the other one is, and the other one are. So, and here I say I don't talk much. I made it a mile and I haven't shut up yet. So we're doing 22. I'm hearing a pretty substantial blowing through my ears, but I can still hear myself talk. I just don't know if the camera can hear me talk all that well. And these bumps, they take my voice away because I kind of go, but they're really not, they're not as bad as they sound by my voice. It's just a bump. It's no big deal, but when it's unexpected, I don't know why we tend to just go, huh, with the voice and make it sound a lot worse than it is. See, like that. Okay, I'm doing 25 mile an hour now. I got nobody in my rearview mirror. And we're shortly coming to the end of this road maintained by Ed, and switching towards the road maintained by, a road maintained by the township. The reason I said oh dear was that I think I saw a dead squirrel. I definitely saw a dead squirrel. I think it was one that I hit some time back, but I didn't. I thought it made it. It was a suicidal kamikaze squirrel. 33 miles an hour. Okay, so now this is a road maintained by the township. So it's paved, it's plowed, it's managed, it's fine. You know, it's funny, these gears are a little funny. Second gear I'm in right now, and it's so sensitive on that throttle, man. I think my big Cowie 750, I had better control over the throttle than I do on this one. It's just a little rickety, I find, and the slightest little nudge and vroom, and away it goes. And if you ease off of it just a tiny bit too fast, then well, I wouldn't say this thing's got enormous compression, but it seems that the engine braking throws you against the handlebars a bit. Which is hard for a guy to say when I'm 260 pounds. Oh, the engine braking on this big old 125, it's killing me, man. It throws me right against the handlebars. Oh. Yeah, no, it's really not that bad, but I do find it kind of bounces you around a little. That's okay if I can say that, right? For whatever purpose. Maybe it's not the monstrous compression of a CT125. Let's see where this guy takes me. Well, I know where this takes me. This road goes into basically a loop, a square loop that comes around. And if I stay on this one, it's going to take me all the way right back to my own driveway. Okay, and go around Watts Lake and take me back to my own driveway. However, somewhere up here, not too far from here, oh boy, am I going to be able to get Francine on this? A little ways up from here, it's going to fork to the left, and then there's another kind of rough road that goes off to Shrigley Bay, or at least I think it's called Shrigley Bay. Sometimes it's hard to tell. And then I'm going to see what I used to be able to get there on the quad quite easily, and we used to be able to get through and all the way ride right out onto the beach. But then they put a gate up so that you couldn't get the quad through, but then you could at least park the quad and go and walk up out onto the beach, which was nice. So we're going to see how far we can get with this little motorcycle. Even if I could ride this thing through that gate and not right out onto the beach, I don't think I'd want to, because this teeny tiny little front tire. Copperhead Road? No, this is somebody's private driveway. Okay, that's a little bit beachy sand, but that's okay. It's not too much. I didn't feel any tug on the front wheel like it wanted to throw me. It's nice that all these puddles have dried up. I think when I came through here last time, that puddle was not dried up. I had a little bit of fun, splash. You notice I'm riding right on top of the bedrock limestone here. These are called alvars, and it's where the bedrock is exposed. And people are using it as the road. It's a little hard on the tush, but it's a pretty durable road surface, I can tell you. Ow. You know, I could be doing this standing up, but I don't know that I want to. Okay. Drop her into first. This might do a little better. Okay, we're back into the dirt. Not that I'm going to say it's any better. Like I said, I could be standing up over these things. I could be having fun over these things and jumping like I used to do in my teens on my old KX250. That thing was unstoppable. 1979 KX250. Unbelievable bike. I could dig a trench in 5th gear, 50 feet long. It just didn't know how to quit. Stay on the trail, Jeff. I just reached down to itch my leg. That's why I veered off a little bit, but that's quite okay. It's not like I'm on the Trans-America Trail or anything, which is something I would love to do someday. I'm still waiting for that fork. I don't know. It hasn't happened yet. I haven't seen it. So I'm just following this guy until we get to a fork in the road. And I almost think that, I don't know, somebody's advertising a bed and breakfast or some places down there. I think they call it Paradise Bay Cottages or something along that line. So I want to see what it looks like. Or if it looks any different than the last time I saw it, which was, oh man, it must have been 7-8 years ago I was up here. But since I've had the cottage built, I've always been carting crap up here, and I just never had the opportunity to get my quad into the trailer so that I could cart that up here and actually do some serious exploring. So this bike is my first opportunity to do some serious exploring, and I'm really enjoying it. I love this thing. Absolutely love this bike. However, it's not my quad. And my quad is like a bloody Cadillac. It's a big old Suzuki King Quad 750. And it's got 4-wheel independent suspension. It's got, it's got everything I wanted, and it had nothing that I didn't want. It's not heavily tricked out with electronics. Okay, now I'm taking the left fork. I want to see what's down here. Anyway, my quad kind of rolls over these bumps without even really thinking. With 4-wheel independent, it's like riding in a big old caddy. It's nice and smooth. And I know Francine's gonna really love exploring on the quad. And to be perfectly honest, there aren't that many places where this bike will go where that quad won't. That quad will fit through just about everything. It's big, it's powerful, it's comfortable. So, but I'm really digging this bike as well, that it's something I can get here, I can take it here, it fits in the back of the pickup. We can go tearing around on it. I can leave it here, I can take it home, like you name it. We got all kinds of options for this thing. I can leave it here, I can go home and buy another one for home. Then we could have a his and hers. I don't think Francine's interested in learning how to ride this thing though. Okay, I'm back into second gear. I keep shifting gears. I don't know which one I want to be in. And I think that is one of those kind of known features of this bike is that at the low end, when you're picking your way through a trail, it really has a tough time figuring out which gear it wants to be in. And see, I'm seeing some tire tracks in the mud here that are pretty fresh. So it's not like nobody ever goes down here. Well, let's see. You know, anybody who's watching this for the first time and who knows me at all, it's got to be laughing their butt off, because as I'm pulling up the driveway, I'm talking about how much of an introvert I am and how I'm always quiet, and I've done nothing but useless chatter the whole way along this road, which is funny, because that's the alter ego Jeff. Once I start talking, you do find me having a hard time shutting up. But so often I just want to sit there and watch the road go by and just shut up, and then you guys, anybody who's watching the video, just gets to enjoy the ride without, you know, somebody yammering in their ear, which is good too. I mean, there's both. Sometimes I like, you know, Ange, buddy, if you're watching, I love your discourse, your dialogue as you come along the way and as you're talking. Oh, here's a truck. Let's see. Is this the end of the road here? Are they stopped too? Let's see what we got here. Oh, it's a truck parked. Okay, this is a private property over a creek, so this is too far. So what have we here? This is also a private property, no trespassing. I think that's pretty much where I used to go through, or where this truck is. Huh. That was the way through, but now they've got it all gated off with no trespassing. So I guess we can't even go through there. Sorry about that, folks. You never know. Things change, right, over time, and people buy up land. Some people, you know, there's trails that have been here for 100 years that everybody always used to be able to have access to get to, and now they can't, because somebody else who just bought the land decided they want to keep it all to themselves, and nobody's allowed on these trails. Sometimes that's just maybe for selfish purposes. Maybe it's for legal purposes. They don't want any of these yahoos on quads. If they injure themselves, they don't want them coming back for lawsuits. So that's quite possible too. It's a bit sad though, because I used to be able to go through. We used to be able to get right out onto the beach over there. The rides, it's a little rough. I don't know, with Francine on the back of this thing, you know what I found? With my girl on the back of this bike, doesn't change this thing at all. The steering characteristics feel exactly the same. The handling is exactly the same. And you know, my old, I had an 81 KZ 750 Cowie. I rode that thing for 20 years, man. It was just another one of those bikes that just didn't know how to quit. And absolutely loved it. A heavy tank of a bike. But, you know, even when my kids got on the back, all the steering characteristics changed because the weight was shifted around. And here we got the weight shifted around anyway, but the steering characteristics just haven't changed on this bike at all. She can ride on behind. I love it when she hangs on. She's not used to bikes. She's adorable. She's such a doll. And She learned how to, operate a two-wheeler when she was younger, but she never actually ever rode a bicycle, never rode a motorcycle. So I'm trying to teach her or encourage her, and there's nothing to teach. She already knows how to do it, but I'm trying to encourage her to ride a little bit more. So she, God bless that girl, she gets on the back with me, as terrified as she is. She shuts her eyes, doesn't stop praying until we get to wherever we're going. We went through, oh my gosh, the other day, well, you might see that video if it ever makes it to the light of day. We went through just tons of gravel. They're redoing the roads, but soft. It was like beach sand. Just take your front wheel and tear it around on you. Just a terrible load of gravel and miles of that. So that was fun. We went out to Misery Bay and then spent some time out there, which was nice. For now, this is just local, around close to home, but it just seems that all of these trails that used to be fun and miles and miles of fun aren't anymore. Okay, now we're back to the fork in the road. Let's follow this fork. Watts Lake. Now I'm taking the right fork. This is the other way. You see a big gate up ahead, but that's not the road, believe it or not. That's a private property that's gated off, so the actual road goes this way. So let's see where this goes. Well, I know exactly where this goes. This goes to Watts Lake. It goes around. Watts Lake is this, man, nobody knows what it's really, well, I guess maybe it is really supposed to be called Watts Lake. So it's called Mud Lake. I think it had another name too, which I can't even remember anymore. It's a pretty little lake in the middle of nowhere, and this road kind of goes around it, but it only used to go partially around it, and then you had to cut across someone's actual property to get all the way around Watts Lake, which he didn't seem to mind. He didn't like it much. He had his sign up about private property, but it wasn't like he chased you off as long as it wasn't hunting season or something. So, but then the township that doesn't maintain these roads decided at one year that they were going to come all the way down here with their road cutting clearing equipment and cut a proper concession around Watts Lake. So that is what they did, which was a horrible job, and they did a terrible job of that, and drainage was just non-existent. I've been through that road on my quad where the water was basically up to the seat. So this bike would have made it through as well, given the snorkel on it and the deep water capabilities of this bike. Would have made it through, but barely. But with the contributions of the neighbors, that sounded worse than it was. With the contributions of the neighbors, Ed has been going through here and making improvements. Although, listening to me complain about the bumps, you'd hardly notice. Let's see. Da-da-da. So here it's a little sandy, back there it's a little rocky. You just never know what you're going to get. So yeah, we're going to go around Watts Lake, and I'm going to stop and show you, take a quick peek of Watts Lake, and then from there we'll head from that little walkway. We'll go to the new concession that has been concessed and cut out from the harsh boreal forest of Manitoulin Island. So despite me, complaining about hitting every bump because I'm not standing up on the pegs and absorbing them like I really should be, obviously this bike is extraordinarily capable. These, semi-rough trails are a no-brainer to this thing. What is the nemesis of this bike is soft, beachy sand, definitely. But rough trails like these, nothing. It doesn't even bat an eye. And the seats are notoriously bad on this bike. Everybody knows it. Seats are terrible, but they're not that bad. Like, at the end of the day, they're not that bad. And certainly these kinds of bumps between the suspension and the seat, it's not painful. What's painful with these seats, the reason they're so bad, is that any long term, like anything after an hour, your butt's kind of calling you up, like Ange is in his videos, has phone conversations with his ass. And yeah, that's because these seats aren't so great. Now, I bought one of those little air inflatable, a whole bunch of little pillow things, and it's all one chamber that's made into multiple pillows. So as you move around, the air shifts out from one chamber and into another, and it kind of migrates around. And it's an improvement. I don't know how great of an improvement it really is, but it is somewhat of an improvement. Could I live without it? Do the exact same thing? Yeah, probably. But somehow it just makes me feel like I've customized it a little bit and made it my own. So take that. Back on the hard limestone. No hunting. Okay, so look at this. This is what Ed has done here. This is Ed's upgrades, which are not friendly to these motorcycles, I can tell you that. Oh my God, I'm gonna die. So I think the idea is for these stones to slowly sink into the ground. Ed. Oh my gosh, Ed, you're killing me. Ed, you're killing me. Okay, thank heavens. I think the idea is for those rocks to sink into the ground where it's a little muddier, and then at some later time, Ed will make it into a really nice road. Right, Ed? You're watching this, right? Ed, you're going to turn it into a really nice road for us motorcyclists. Let's see if we can make that happen someday. Oi! Oh. Now I'm shifting my derriere a little bit back further. Okay. Just these little bits of this stone and my hand's already hurting from the deft grip I got on the throttle. Yeah. These, by the way, Watts Lake is on the right somewhere. I'm just waiting to see that little pathway that's going to get me there. And it's hard for me to identify it now because the road is entirely unfamiliar. This is somebody's driveway. I used to be able to spot it just by the puddle marks, you know what I mean? Like the little indentations where the puddles collect. And I used to know exactly where it was because I could just recognize it, like, I don't know, like your eyes just sort of train themselves to that piece of landscape. And now I can't see it anymore because of these effing rocks. Ed, I kill you. Yeah. Now this is starting to look a little more familiar. Let us see. Oh, I can see the lake off to the right. You can't because the camera is pointed on my chest. But I can see it through these trees. And we are going to stop very shortly and take a look at that. Okay, I'm just gonna shut this puppy off there for a moment. Unplug the pluggeroony. Oh my. $3.35. Is that somebody's? Yeah, it looks like somebody's driveway to their road. But here, oh look, all these little, I don't know if they're frogs or grasshoppers. Some of these are frogs, man. Little froggies. And a high quality footbridge. Let's get over this area so that we can get out and see what's like. Come share it with me, folks. Here we are. From left, panning, panning, panning all the way to the right. Looks a little scummy. Sometimes there's a little bit of that stuff. Looks a little more than usual. Pretty little lake. And there's somebody up there. They got property right there on the shore. So they got their own, that's like their own private little lake, which is awesome. I think if you stock this place with some fish, it wouldn't surprise me if somebody had. You could enjoy some fishing. I don't know. I love the idea of fishing. Just never actually fished. I've fished a couple of times, but hard to do that with kids. And then they grew older, and that opportunity kind of just disappeared. And I don't catch anything anyway. I can go to the store to buy fish, and I'll still come home empty-handed. So, all right, we're good to go. You guys ready? I'm ready. Well, let's complete the circuit. So we're going to turn a little bit to the right now, go around the southern end, which is the new concession. So the new concession is going to be right around here, because here's the private keep out. That's the private area. That's where we used to have to cut through that guy's property. And he was very nice about it. He would not, you know, these signs look mean and angry, but it's a very wonderful neighbor, a good guy. He didn't seem to mind it at all. But I don't like cutting through people's property either, because, you know, I don't like it when people cut through my property, and even when I'm not there. Not that I mind, but for example, our dear neighbors, they will check out our property every once in a while. Just come over, make sure everything's okay. I love that. That's awesome. And that's a great neighborly thing to do, and I would do that for our neighbors in a heartbeat as well, any day, any time. But as a shortcut to the beach, or some kid on a quad comes through, I mean, we've had hunters come through. I had a cute little garden gnome troll thing that was guarding my bridge, and you know, had hunters come through. They shot him all the shit, and I'm like, really? You're gonna come on someone's private property and destroy it? That's just mean. That's terrible. So how do you like this as a concession that the township just decided they were gonna make? Oh, let's go burn through here. So here's where these rocks are that had built up. This used to be, you know, a good 1.5 to 2 feet lower, and this is where I've been on my quad, right up to the seat in water. Imagine this whole place flooded with that much water. You'll probably find that on my other YouTube channel. Yeah, check JVS 6610. That might be that'll be the other channel that has the quad tour. It's a 25-minute video that goes around this block several years ago. I was done with my GoPro Hero. Okay, now we're getting back to our main road. Well, main road. This road is forms our driveway, or the trail to our driveway. But now we're coming up from the south. I kind of slammed that one into gear, didn't I? Maximum 30 kilometers an hour. I'm doing 20 miles an hour, which is probably just over 30. Well, it's going to be really interesting to find out how the sound came out on this, because I got no microphone, I got no nothing other than this camera, which is the OSMO Action camera. It's about 2 years old now, and I get to see how the video turned out, so we shall see. So I'll shut up and let you just enjoy the ride for the last little bit until we come home. Unless I hit a bump, then you're going to hear me complain. All right, well guys, happy video recording. We're home. Hola. Smile for the camera. I'm about to end the filming. Hello. Hello.